Fuck yeah. Oh,
Now it's rolling.
Let's go, Irish! Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go! Let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go! Let it go! White team, get the ball! Good ball out! Let's go, let's go! Come on, offense, let's go now! Let's go, Irish! Go, go, go! Come on, right there! Absolutely! Let's go, let's go, Irish! Come on, Cornelius! Let's go, Irish! Come on, Irish! Let's go, let's move the ball! Come on, Chuck, go! Hey, let's go! Let's go! Chuck, go! Get in the team! You're backed off! Stop moving, Chief! Chief! Let's go now! Let's go, Irish! Come on, Irish! Jamie, good job! Outside of fraction, okay? Let's go! Let's go! Keep on! Go, guys! Come on!
Let's get ready. Hot on.
Come on, Andy!
Come on! Take the penalty! Hey! How about too many men on the field?
Get back in there, offense. Decline it. Next series, going all the way.
Procedure. Go in on the line. Refuse. Check it down. They both told me they're off.
Let's go, Chief!
Come on, guys.
People! Come on, people! Get on the line of scrimmage, tell them! That's wrong!
Start on the line.
He's on the line!
Second down, repeat it.
Know your shit! Come on, Ernie! Know your shit! Come on, defense! Come on, boys! Punting team, get ready. Go! Let's go, punting team. Anybody on the punting team? Are you normally on the punting team? No, say it. Let Jimmy on there. Punting team, let's go! Punting team, let's go! Count him up, you got 12! Push down. Let's go, Eddie. Come on. Let's go. What kind of defense! Defense! Punt! Return!
Defense. 10 yards, first down.
Nobody came out here.
Come on, defense!
Get it back, defense!
That looks great, buddy.
Come on, guys!
Chris, Moscato, what's the time at?
You run the slant in. You did nothing.
Louis, do your job! Come on!
Reed! You can't miss him like that!
Wait, penalty. Who's it on?
Ball! Right here on the white, boys. Come on.
Who's the penalty on? Raise your first.
Next time that play is called, you switch it down. Just take the penalty, that's all. No more practice is missed, period. It'd be nice.
There's no flag on the play, no flag.
Tell him to keep it in his pocket.
That's what. Professional conduct, any outfits, first down.
Right. Let's go, Iran! Come on, Richie! You gotta stay home! Guys, slant out, right? Everybody here. Spencer! Offense, ready in. Axel!
And welcome to the McLean-Hunter High School Game of the Week. Our second season begins right where it did last year with football and with the Westlane Spartans taking on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. This year we open up at Notre Dame. Two new additions to the Game of the Week crew. Jeff Girardat will be joining me, Jim Gould, up in the booth. Shane Neal will be working the sidelines for us during the football season. Jeff, you had occasion to check out a few Westlane practices this week. How do the Spartans look coming off two championship seasons?
They look pretty good. I talked to Coach Lalsich. He said he thought his troops were ready. He's going to be anchored by offense and defense Jamie Beckus and third-year quarterback Ed Dawson, who has a lot of leadership on the team. One problem is they don't have a lot of players, so a lot of guys have to go both ways. It's going to be interesting if they can hold on in the fourth quarter.
As many as 6 players going both ways for the Spartans this afternoon. We'll turn things over to Shane Neal. You had a chance to speak to the Irish. They're going to rely a lot on defense this year.
That's right. They have Tim Biskey as their defensive coordinator. He played in Laurier just a couple of years ago, and I believe even won a Vanier Cup. I know he played here in Notre Dame, and he's going to have that defense ready to go. And you can also look for their offense. Notre Dame's always had a good offensive football team. Ryan Ravizzulo will be at quarterback as he was last year for the Irish.
The Westlane Spartans and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame kick things off on the McLean-Hunter High School Game of the Week up next.
See you later, alligator. We'll be back in a while, crocodile, with more community programming on McLean-Hunter Cable TV.
Once again, he's going to be a major factor of Westlane's defense, along with Jamie Beckus here today.
Actually lost about a half yard on the play, so the Irish with a 4th and 1, 1.5. This early in the game, the Spartans giving them the ball in good field position. They're going to try and capitalize. They're going to go for it on 4th down. Santo Stefano and Cardinelli are the backs. This time they fake the give to Santo Stefano. Ravizzulo's going to try and roll it outside. He won't get there for the 1st down. So after giving up great field position, the Spartan defense stands tall. They'll take the ball back for their offense.
Notre Dame in the I formation there. A good job by number 21, Steve Musselwhite, to stay in his own zone on the left side and make the tackle.
Still no score here, first quarter, between the Westlane Spartans and Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Spartan offense taking the field for the first time. They're led by Ed Dawson, the quarterback, number 16, third-year senior quarterback. Great leader, described by George Lawlisich, the head coach of the Westlane Spartans.
The running game for Westlane is also going to be interesting. They have Mark Spencer, number 32. He's a hard, tough runner, but their backup runner, Joe Kekic, dislocated his toe in a scrimmage last week against Centennial, so he's not going to see any action for the next 3 weeks. So Spencer's going to do the majority of the running.
That forces Dan Peoples into the backfield. He gets the carry here, picks up maybe a yard or two, but a flag on the play. I think the Spartans jumped.
Yeah, I think they did, actually. I'm not sure who it was.
Referees sort this call out on the field. No gain on the carry for Peoples.
Oh, I think I'm catching a cold already.
It appears as though they did give Peoples the 3 yards he picked up on the carry. So the Spartans will operate 2nd and 7.
And then he changes his mind. Well, that's a waste of my shoulder.
Again, some early motion at the line. Peoples shows a few nice moves to get up close to where the 1st down yardage was needed. But again, I think some early motion this time. I think Westlane's going to get called.
Along the right side, Jim, I think it was number 80, Kevin Ritchie, jumped before the ball was snapped.
Penalty does go against the Spartans. From the original line of scrimmage, they'll march off 5 from there.
Pissed off because we've been recording black. That's what I'm saying, like Felix.
Remains 2nd down. The Spartans facing 2nd and 12. Could be an opportunity for us to see Ed Dawson put the ball in the air for the first time this game.
Yesterday at practice, he threw the ball really well. He's got a strong arm, and he throws it straight and accurate.
Spencer and Peoples are in the backfield. They fake the give. Peoples coming around from the side. Tried to pick it up on the end around. I'm not even sure whether Dan Peoples gained any yardage there at all.
Peoples didn't even really have any blockers. He made that all himself. He got away from 1 tackle, but there's 2 more Irish defenders right there to take him down.
KG veteran that George Lawlisich is. Appears as though he's called the timeout and wants his offense to regroup. He's gathered them around himself out on the field. They're not looking very impressive to start this game here. 2 penalties on the first 2 plays of their first 2 possessions. And now they're faced with a very long third down, about 3rd and 7.
Yeah, 2 penalties and a onside kick that doesn't work your way is not a good way to start the football season. George Lawlisich trying to get his troops gathered and get them back under some composure and hopefully march the ball down the field.
Spartans, of course, we mentioned earlier, looking for their 3rd straight Elite Division championship. They won the last 2 last year, headed into the playoffs at 3-2, ended up knocking off Holy Cross big in the semifinal, and then taking out Dennis Morris 1-0 in the final to win the Elite Championship.
The thing with Westlane is they don't really show you a lot during the regular season. George Lawlisich always has something in his back pocket that he's not going to show you during the regular season, and then come playoff time, they look like a totally different team.
This could be a big play for the Notre Dame defense. 3rd and 7. Westlane looking to move the chains. This time they fake the run. Dawson rolling out. He finds Spencer coming out of the backfield, dishes off the pass to him. He's hit hard. Spencer was about 2 yards short of the first down and just got drilled by the Irish defense.
Spencer did a great job running, missing some tackles there, but Neil Goddett, number 20, was there and just put a punishing blow on.
That forces the Spartans into a 4th down situation. 4th and 4. Al Reed checks into the game as quarterback Ed Dawson heads for the sidelines.
He's going to kick to Aaron. 15? It is 15. Well, it looks like 15's going into back. 83 safety net.
Jamie Beckus, the all-purpose player for the Spartans, will boot it out of bounds towards the sidelines. So in an effort to try and punt the ball out of bounds, they hang it up in the wind. And depending on the spot, I'm not even sure whether they even gained any yards on that kick.
Not a very good kick by Becko. Once again, Notre Dame has great field condition.
Obviously, 15. Notre Dame can run the ball back well, or they wouldn't have kicked it that far out of bounds.
This would be the 2nd time the Irish have taken the ball here in the first quarter. Both times starting deep inside Westlane side of the field. Well, we've been corrected from the field. The Irish were flagged on the play, gave up the first down to the Spartans. There's a broken play on first down. Westlane did not lose possession on the punt. There was a penalty called on the play. On the penalty, the Spartans pick up the first down, so they'll end up working it back towards the Irish end zone. Still no score here in the first quarter between Westlane and Notre Dame.
Obviously, one of the backs was uninformed of his position on that play. Dawson went to turn around, the backs are no longer there, so he had nothing else to do but run it up the gut, but the big defensive line of Notre Dame was there to greet him.
2nd and 10 for the Spartans. Spencer and Peoples are the backs. They fake to give to Peoples. Dawson keeps it himself and loses a yard as the Irish defense just smother him as he came around the corner.
I'm not sure if that was a broken play either. It looked like people are very confused in the Westlane backfield, and this is going to hurt them. They haven't really done much with the ball so far. Notre Dame has a much bigger defensive line than Westlane's offensive line, and it really shows right now.
You mentioned the fact that George Lawlisich doesn't like to show too much during the regular season, but one thing that any coach demands is execution by his offense and his defense. He's not getting it from his offense right now. Dawson's going to put it up on 3rd down and get dropped in the backfield. Number 70, Ben Nagy, in there for the sack. That'll bring up another 4th down situation for the Spartans, unable to get anything going here in the first quarter.
Especially now, Westlane want to get something going. The rain is picking up here a bit at Notre Dame, so they want to at least get a comfortable lead or at least a score on the board, because it looks like as the day goes on, it's going to be tougher to score.
Well, Jamie Beckus will step back behind the line of scrimmage and set up the punt again. Loris Luchetta and Steve Deep are the deep backs for the Irish. A little better kick from Beckus this time, still on the Spartan side of the field though. 4 yards inside the Spartan side of the field from the midfield stripe. So again, this time the Irish do get the ball, their second possession of the game, in excellent field position.
I think the Irish have really got to look to do something on this possession. They haven't moved the ball that great with the field position that they have had. Coming at the end of the first quarter soon, they're really going to want to move this ball and hopefully get a score.
Ravizolo settles under center. Santos Stefano will get the carry over the right side. Breaks a couple of tackles, plunges ahead for a couple of more yards, picks up about 5 on the first down carry.
Good job by number 80, Kevin Ritchie, the defensive back, to make that tackle along the right side. One thing I've noticed about Notre Dame's offense so far, no matter if even they're going to do a lot of running, it seems, as they have been in the first quarter, and they always seem to have 2 wideouts on the left side. Whether or not that's just a decoy for the Westlane defense, something to think about.
And I only got one shoulder to it.
Second down play for the Irish upcoming. Flags all over the field.
There we go again.
George Lawless has just been flagged again by the official. So that's going to back his Spartan defense deep into their own territory. Notre Dame is going to pick up some big yardage here on penalties.
That's got to be an unsportsmanlike conduct on Coach Lawsich. I heard him say, tell him to keep the flag in the referee's pocket to defensive captain Jamie Beckus. So, although Coach Lawsich wants to say what he feels, it's going to hurt his team, especially with Notre Dame's good field position already.
First down and 10 for the Irish.
He hasn't told me to. Do it anyway. What's that? Use my own.
Fake the give to Santos Stefano. Pass on the right side. Almost picked off. Intended for Mike Kondurka. The big tight end working the right side of the Irish line. He was out there open. The pass just not there for him.
Good job by Dan Peoples, too, to stay in at least the zone within the receiver. This way, he might have heard footsteps coming and may be a bit nervous.
Second down and 10 for Notre Dame. 2 receivers split left side. Ravizolo's going to hang it up. Luchetta can't get there. The other receiver in the area was Steve Deef. He wasn't looking. He was trying to break a teep. The pass, I guess, intended for Luchetta, just not there.
Surprisingly, Notre Dame's going to the air as much as they are. Actually, they have the wind to their back, so maybe the quarterback feels he can get a bit more extra yardage on his passes.
So after the penalties, 2 incomplete passes has put Notre Dame in a 3rd and 10 situation. Again, deep down in Westlane territory. They give to Santos Stefano. He carries up to the line and is met there by the Spartan defense. Maybe picked up 2 or 3 yards on the carry.
Once a great job by number 44, Jamie Beckus, to clog up the middle, and he met him, and he didn't get much yardage. Now it's going to be 4th down.
Should mention the wind here today is blowing from your right to left, so the Irish now with the wind at their backs may assist them if they decide to kick. Now another timeout's been taken by one of the teams as they both head over to their respective coaches. No score here. First quarter action of the McLean Hunter High School Game of the Week. Westlane and Notre Dame tangling in our opening game of the season. Neither team unable to put any points on the board as of yet.
As we mentioned at the start of the show, they've got at least about 8 or 9 guys that go both ways. I talked to Coach Lawsich before the game. He said his team is well conditioned. They do a lot of sprinting during the game, but come fourth quarter, they've got to be really tired.
So on this 4th and 10, the Irish will attempt a field goal. Loris Lucetta will hold. Kick is up and on the way. So the Irish field goal attempt sails wide, but it's held in the end zone by the Spartans. They'll kneel down and concede the point. We've got our first point on the board of the game. Not a very exciting one. The Irish lead Westlane 1-0 on that missed field goal.
Every point counts, so that's what Westlane only needed to win the championship last year against Dennis Morris. Pretty good kick by the Notre Dame kicker, actually. That was about a 41-yard field goal, and he kicked it pretty well. It's just a bit wide to the right.
So now the Spartan offense will return to the field, their 3rd possession of the day. Dawson hands off to Peoples. He's met at the line after plunging ahead for about 2 yards. Something the Spartans are well known for with George Lolisich behind the helm. They've been known to run off tackle. It just doesn't seem to be working for them here in the first quarter.
One thing Notre Dame does very well, though, is that they put a helmet on everybody, no matter who they are. As long as they're near the ball, they're going to go and hit them, and they get a lot of gang tackles that way, so the Westlane runners can't really break free.
Second and 9 for Westlane. They give it to Peoples in the backfield. He's dropped and the ball's loose. Recovered by the Irish. Number 23, Mike Fishley, picks up the loose ball. So again, the Irish will start with great field position. Unable to capitalize twice, picking up only the point. Now they've got a 3rd crack at it.
You wonder how many more times the Irish are going to have down here in Westlane's territory before they can get a major score.
Irish offense not wasting any time. They want to get huddled up, get the play in, and get ready. Spartan defense right back onto the field. Lucetta in motion. Ravizzola gives to Santo Stefano. He's met quickly by the defense. Beckus in there on the tackle.
Also a good job by number 51, defensive tackle Mike Ruskoff, to get in there for the stop as well.
Spartan defense there just doing a good job working themselves down the line, finding the back and wrapping an arm around them.
Go guard!
Irish lead this game 1-0 on that missed field goal that the Spartans couldn't run out of the end zone. Santo Stefano again with the ball, this time a big hole up the middle. He carries close down to 1st down yardage. Third and 2 situation upcoming for the Irish. Well, the officials have signaled that is the end of the first quarter. The 2 teams switching things up and heading down to the other end of the field. So now Notre Dame going against the wind here to begin the second quarter. They lead it 1-0.
Okay, pull tight both ways, guys.
Okay, good. Is this on? Hi, Mom. Hi, Mommy!
The Irish up 1-0, looking to add to that lead. Third down and about 3. Santos Stefano has been the main ball carrier for the Irish this afternoon. Rob Cargnelli, the lead back, doing a lot of blocking so far, doing a pretty good job. Santos Stefano's had a few good holes. They give it again to Santos Stefano. He plunges ahead, looks as though he's got the first down.
Good job by number 20, Kirk Glendenning, the defensive back on that play to make the tackle. One thing about the running back, though, is he puts his head down and his shoulder and just drives through the offensive line and follows his tackle and his blockers very well.
It is a first down. They'll move the chains, so now the Irish very close with a first down. Well within field goal range, and I'm sure they're thinking a major. Cargnelli with the carry this time. He's met quickly by the Westlane defense, not fooling anyone there.
There was a big hole along the left-hand side, but Jamie Beckus did a great job covering up that hole and making the tackle for only a gain of about a yard.
Well, they give Cargnelli a short gain there, maybe a yard. Second down and 9 for Notre Dame. Penalty signaled against the Irish. Ravizzola was just stepping up under center to go to set the offense in motion, and the flag came down. That makes it second down and 14 for Notre Dame. Cargnelli and Santos Stefano are the backs. Lucetta in motion. Steve Deef is the wideout on the left side. Ravizzola is going to run it blindly around the right side. Picking up about 7 or 8, Ryan Ravizzola. Kept it himself around the right side. He'll get him close to first down yardage.
Once a good job by number 31, Jason Peoples, to stay in his zone and make the play.
Third and 7. Ravizzola's going to put it up. Short hop Steve. He was wide open out in the flat on the left side. Ravizzola couldn't get the ball there. That was a third down play. It's now fourth down for the Irish, and the field goal unit comes back onto the field.
Jim, we're going to get our first look here at Westlane's number 66, Ryan Ward. He's only 17 years old, but he's 6'6", 280 pounds. He's already had 3 inquiries about universities for football scholarships. So we'll have to see the impact that he has on today's game.
Kicks up, it's blocked. Picked up by the Irish. The Spartans will take over from there. A good job by the Spartan defense to penetrate the holes through the Irish line and get back in there right in the face of the Irish kicking unit.
Obviously somebody missed their block there. Number 51, Mike Ruskoff, right up the middle and did a perfect job of blocking it. He didn't turn his body to the side, just went right at the field goal kicker.
Notre Dame leads this Division I tilt 1-0. The Spartans on offense here in the second quarter. Dawson hands off to Spencer. He rambles ahead for a few. Second down and 4 upcoming for Westlane. Four wideouts for the Spartans. Fourth down upcoming for Westlane. Jamie Beckus in to punt. 2 punts so far for Beckus, neither one gaining much yardage. This time he's got the wind at his back and a high snap. Still managed to get off a great kick. Loris Lucetta going back deep. That's going to roll out of bounds. So for the first time in this game, the Irish offense will take the ball and they'll have to start on their own side of the field.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Irish can do now that they're on their own side of the field. Maybe the tide is turning. Westlane trying to get some momentum here in the second quarter and trying to get something on the board.
The Spartan defense is again going to be expected to stand tall, hold the Irish offense off. Ravizolo again with Cardinelli and Santostefano in the backfield. Deef and Lachetta are the wideouts. They give to Santostefano. He plunges forward, picks up about 4 or 5 on the carry. That'll bring up second down for Notre Dame.
Good lead block there by number 71, Kurt Morrison. Along the left-hand side, he just got the guy in front of him, and then the backer went right behind him. Second down and 8 now for the Irish. There's a carry by number 31, Anthony Santostefano.
He's carrying the bulk of the load for the Irish offense so far here in the first half. Cardinelli, I believe, only carrying once so far in the first half. Ravizolo carried once himself, and Santostefano's had the ball every other time they've run. Cardinelli, the lead back, Santostefano about a yard behind him. This time they're going to put it up. Steve Deef on the left side. He's caught immediately by the Spartan defense. The ball's loose. And whether they're going to say he was down, he was in possession of the ball and then lost it. So the immediate hit by the Spartan defense creating the turnover. Some good coverage. They knock the ball loose and they'll pick up the ball. This time they start in Notre Dame side of the field. Midway through the second quarter here, Notre Dame leading the Westlane Spartans 1-0 on the opening game of the McLean Hunter High School Game of the Week. Dawson handing off to Spencer. He goes nowhere on the right side. Second down, Spencer actually lost about a half yard on that carry. Second down for Westlane. Dawson's going to put it up. was looking down the left sideline. Had Greg Fisher breaking on the left side, but some good coverage by the Irish defense kept all the wide receivers that were out there for Westlane covered.
One thing I noticed about Dawson there, he only took about a 2-step drop, and he didn't really have that much space back in the pocket to throw the ball. Maybe a 4-step or a 5-step drop might have made it a bit better for him, and it made it a better pass.
Third down for Westlane. 3rd and 11. This time they give it to Spencer. Check that, Dan Peoples was there on the halfback option, put it up. Nobody open down the sideline, so now a 4th down for Westlane.
First trick play we've seen so far today, trying to hit number 70, Bob Ward, the tight end along the right side. Maybe trick plays might work on a day like this when you got to get some points on the board in order to win this football game. It looks like there's not going to be a lot of scoring in today's game, partly because of the weather.
Light mist in the air now. 4th down, and again Beckus is set back to punt. He'll punt. He's right at the midfield stripe. If his last kick was any indication, Notre Dame may have miserable field position out of this. Steve Deef going back to pick up the ball. He's in the end zone. The Spartans seem to have him hemmed in. Not yet clear whether Deef did get out of the end zone. No, he didn't. He was tackled in the end zone, so they'll bring it back. We're tied at 1, 2 single points here in the first half.
It's always tough on a punt when you let the ball bounce because you never know where it's going to go exactly. It's best to catch the ball in the air if you can, and then you know at least you're going to get some kind of field position.
Notre Dame has the ball, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Santos Stefano left right side. He lunges forward for a gain of about 6. And good heads-up running by Santos Stefano.
Looks like a Westlane player hurt down there. He tried to get the running back on the play. Something must have happened to him, but I'm not sure what it is. Westlane coach coming out on the field right now to see what the problem is.
Tough to tell at this point who's down on the field. The injured player down was number 31, Jason Peoples. Appears to have a problem with his right knee. Could have gotten fallen on right at the line of scrimmage. In the event, 2nd and 4 upcoming for the Irish. Ravizzola to Santos Stefano. He's met right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a short gain. Bring up a 3rd down situation for Notre Dame.
Good job by Dan Peoples there to charge the line along the right-hand side. That's all Westlane needs is for another player to go down injured. As we mentioned before, Joe Kekik out for about 3 weeks with a dislocated toe. Westlane already has a slim bench. They can't afford any more players hurt.
3rd down for the Irish. They fake the give to Santos Stefano and lay a ball out to the sidelines. Rob Cargnelli, the back, coming out of the backfield, was the intended receiver there. Ravizzola overthrew him. Now the Irish face a 4th down situation deep in their own territory, and something we saw Westlane do. Not very good kicking weather. There is a heavier mist in the air now, and the wind is in the Irish's face at this time.
Something about that end of the field, I'm not sure what it is. It's got to be the wind, but let's see what the Notre Dame punter can do with this.
Fourth down, Santo Stefano will kick. Caught by Kirkland Denning for the Spartans. Glenn Denning fields the punt for Westlane and gets them great field position about the 30-yard line to start their drive.
Now we're going to have to see. It'll be interesting. Ed Dawson comes onto the field. Whether or not his leadership will be able to give Westlane some points here and get them in the lead.
That freaking guy went right over that thing.
See Glenn Denning there, a gang tackle along the sideline. So the punt only nets about 10-15 yards. And the Spartans go to work on offense. 1st and 10 as Dawson settles under. They put it up right away. Bob Ward with the completion. Bob Ward makes the catch from Dawson, and that's close to 1st down yardage. It is a 1st down as they move the chains.
Obviously Notre Dame not expecting to pass there. They left much too much room in the zone there, and Ward was able to turn around, catch the pass, and even get a few more yards after the pass.
And that's a 1st and 10 from about the 17. Dawson, they'll put it up again. Dawson this time trying to work the right side. Interference in the end zone. Mike Fishley is going to get flagged. Had his back to the ball and contact with the Westlane receiver. That's going to set up a 1st and goal for the Spartans.
Might be the break the Spartans need to get on the board here. Tied at 1. We'll have to see if Spencer can run it in from short yardage.
Well, as they march off the penalty, the Spartans 1st and goal to go from inside the 5-yard line. Looking for the first major of the day. Dawson collides with his own running back. Some miscommunication in the backfield. Dawson and Spencer collided. No gain on the play, 2nd down for Westlane.
Once again, another broken play for Westlane. Sort of looked like the same play that they ran in the 1st quarter that they had a bit of problems with.
Spartans tighten up their offensive formation. Ball was never even snapped. Motion on both sides of the line. And based on the reaction from the Notre Dame defense, I'd say that penalty is against the Westlane offense for a false start.
Obviously something went wrong in the Westlane huddle there. A lot of people weren't sure what was happening. There was movement on both sides of the line.
Tied at 1, late goings of the first half of this opening game of the McLean Hunter High School Game of the Week. Westlane and Notre Dame tied at a single point apiece.
Second down.
Both teams playing very well defensively. Neither team showing a lot on the offensive side of the ball.
Ed Dawson just ran over to Coach George Lalsich, maybe try and get a play from the sideline, something that will work, and put this ball in the end zone so Westlane can get a lead on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Second down repeated for Westlane, much farther off the goal line than they were. They again spread things out. 4 wide receivers, 2 backs, and a very light line. As Dawson rolls out, and he's going to put it up in the end zone looking for Ward. He was covered well by Santo Stefano.
God, it's freezing. My legs are getting frostbite. Frostbite.
Third and goal from the 9. As Dawson gets his offense set. Hands it off up the middle for Spencer. Spencer managed to get it back near the original line of scrimmage. 4th down for Westlane.
Good job by number 80 there for the Fighting Irish, Mark Palma, to save a touchdown with an open field tackle.
Timeout's been called on the field. Tied at 1, the Westlane Spartans and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. The Spartans with a 4th down opportunity from about the 3-yard line. The decision now for George Lalsich is whether you try and put up the field goal, at least get yourself a point, maybe 3, or do you go for the major?
It's going to be an interesting decision. 6 points in this game can really go a long way, as we've seen so far, only 1 point for each team. So if they can get 6 points here with the major, it will really put Westlane up on top, and their defense done a good job at holding the Irish, especially with their good field position they've had so far.
Well, the Notre Dame D received some encouragement from the sidelines. 4th down, Westlane attempting what appears to be about a 17-yard field goal. Jamie Beckus on to kick. That's up and through, so the Westlane Spartans take the lead here on this opening game of the McLean Hunter High School Game of the Week. They now lead the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame 4-1.
I'm not going to heal. What's wrong with you? Corey said there's something I'm just joking around.
Well, rather than kick it off after the points, Irish take the ball. Appears to be the 35. They're going to set their offense in motion. They give to Santo Stefano left side. Big carry for Anthony Santo Stefano. He gets near first down yardage. Pickup of about 9 on that first down carry.
Good double team job there by number 21, Steve Musselwhite, and number 31, Jason Peoples, to make the open tackle. If they're not there, he might go all the way, or at least get themselves into good field position for another score before the end of the half.
Flag down on the play. That's going to go against the Westlane defense. So it's Santo Stefano's 9, and then the penalty, first down Irish. Santo Stefano this time right side, plunging over the line, picks up about 3 yards on the carry.
Great job by number 55 there, Al Reed, to make the tackle.
The Irish running out of time here in the first half. Show a look we haven't seen yet. Nobody in the backfield, 5 wideouts. Check that, 6 players going deep into pass patterns. Beckus with a shot at Ravizolo, missed him. Steve Musselwhite also had a shot at Ravizolo for the Spartans. They couldn't contain him. Ravizolo rumbles out to near midfield and possibly another Irish first down.
Just noticing on the Westlane defense, somebody that we haven't seen lately is Ryan Ward, the 6'6", 280-pound defensive tackle. He was in there for a couple plays at the first quarter, but Jim, we really haven't seen much of him since.
Ryan Ward spent a little time here in the first half on the sidelines. Could be a strategic ploy by Coach George Lolosich, maybe to keep him fresh for the second half. Ravizolo passing on first down. He finds Santo Stefano still in the backfield. He's going to try and break it around the corner. Wrapped up from behind by Jamie Beckus after a gain of 4.
Good job there by Beckus to run downfield. You even saw him try and strip the ball away from Santos Stefano, trying to get another turnover. Hopefully Westlane to get one more score.
Nobody in the backfield with Ravizolo. 6 wide receivers. He's just going to hang it up over the middle. Loris Lucetta there, and the ball's tipped. Great defensive play. Hustling back for it was number 31, Jason Peoples. He tipped the ball away, or Loris Lucetta had a very good shot at a touchdown.
Nothing else Notre Dame could really do there. They just have to keep on airing out the ball. They haven't got time on the clock to run the ball up the middle.
Ravizolo going to put it up in the air again. This time he short hops Ryan Nava. Fourth down for Notre Dame coming up. 4th and about 6. Lucetta just throws one up near the offensive line. Mike Kondurka came down with the ball, went down right near what they needed for a first down. It'll depend on the official spot. Well, the officials rule he did not get enough on that carry, so they turn the ball over on downs. The Spartan offense comes back out onto the field. Do you think they'll try and put any numbers up on the board, or are they just going to ride this out to half?
I think they'll probably just ride it out to half. I'm sure George Lolosich would rather go to the dressing room heading up 4-1. You know, he's got not a comfortable lead, but the way the points have been scored so far, he feels pretty comfortable with his offense right now. His defense is doing a great job. The last play there is one of the few times that the field conditions have created havoc for Notre Dame, and it cost them a first down.
Dawson settles under center. Puts it up right away. The pass is caught by number 24, Dan Peoples. He laterals off. Kevin Ritchie was the receiver on that lateral from Peoples. Enough to pick up 13 and move the chains. First down, Westlane.
A good job by Ritchie there to keep his eyes open and notice what was going on in the play, and was able to follow it up for a few extra yards.
Well, the timekeeper's flag is in the air, so we're very late here in the first half. Time for maybe a few plays for the Spartans. Dawson drops back. He's going to let it fly. Down the left side. Peoples there to make the catch, but a great defensive effort. Loris Lucetta back there for the Irish. Got up and got a hand on the ball and knocked it away from Spencer.
If If that ball isn't knocked away, that's going to be excellent field goal position for the Spartans, and they could have improved their lead to maybe 7-1, or at least had more time for a chance, one more play to get it in the end zone.
Check that. That was Dan Peoples, the intended receiver. Second and 10 for Westlane. They lead this game 4-1. Dawson again going to pass, second down. He's got Peoples on the right side. That pass complete for 14 yards, good enough for a first down, and that will end the first half. The 14-yard completion from Dawson to Peoples ends it for the Spartans on the offensive side of the ball in the first half, but after one half of play, Westlane leads this game in what has amounted to not very much offense. They lead it 4-1.
Good defensive battle here at Notre Dame's field. Westlane was trailing 1-0, but they got that back on the single, then got about a 17-yard field goal from Jamie Beckus to take the lead 4-1, and that's where the game stands right now. I'm sure Coach Lalisic is not overly pleased with his team right now. Their offense struggled a bit at the start, but he's got to be happy going into the change room with a 4-1 lead.
The story of the first half's got to be the defenses. Both defenses, front fours and linebacking cores, were playing the line solid.
Yes, they really were. One other thing we have to pinpoint too is that Westlane had some penalties against them at the start of the game. It didn't look like they were really going to get on track, but they did a lot better in the second half.
Action very much picked up during the course of the first half. Expect the offenses to come out firing here in the second half as both Notre Dame and Westlane try to pick up a win in the opening game of the Elite Division high school season. As we leave you here at the half, Westlane leading Notre Dame 4-1 on the McLean Hunter High School Game of the Week.
As a cable company, we distribute dozens of television signals amounting to hundreds of hours of programming. We don't determine the content of these shows, but we do recognize that certain language and themes may not be suitable for younger viewers. One of the truly nice things about cable is selection, and your right to choose what is and what is not appropriate for you and your family. We're parents too, and when we go home, we make choices every night. Please watch what your kids watch.
Welcome back to halftime here at the McLean Hunter High School Game of the Week. We're at Notre Dame where the Westlane Spartans lead the Irish 4-1 at the half. Right now we're going to take you to some taped highlights from yesterday's game, a rematch between last year's Division II finalists, the Centennial Cougars and the Lakeshore Gators. Following that, last year some high school basketball students in the Niagara region got a chance to tour Japan and play against some Japanese teams. We'll have some conversation with them and find out what their experience was like. And when we return from that, we'll bring you the second half of this game between the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame and the Westlane Spartans. Westlane leading 4-1.
Thursday's rematch of last year's championship game provided less drama but the same result, as once again O.J. Burnett would score all the Centennial Majors. Burnett ripped off this long gainer to give the Cougars an early lead. While this catch for a two-point conversion made the score 14-0. The pass by Aaron Kerr was the lone bright spot in the Cougar aerial attack. Kerr, who has assumed the quarterback duties from Rich Vujasic, struggled at times. Lakeshore began to move the ball in the second quarter. Here, Sean Martin hooks up with Paul Grano, but the momentum later came to an abrupt halt as the Cougar defense held their ground on a fourth down gamble. The measurement left the Gators just inches short, and the resulting turnover gave the Cougar offense great field position. That led to Burnett's third major of the afternoon. Jared Rustin looks strong in the Lakeshore backfield and should provide returning Mark DeWard with some help. DeWard here outlegs the Centennial defense to get his squad on the board. DeWard's second touchdown run and the ensuing point after made things interesting. Early in the third quarter, Martin found Benner open down the sidelines. Then Grantis took a pitch and the Gators were knocking on the door. The drive was halted when DeWard got sandwiched between two Cougar defenders. Moving on, 2 fourth quarter touchdowns by O.J. Burnett would put the game out of reach. The exclamation mark on the victory was provided by Jamie Schumann. We see here he barges through the line into the backfield untouched to make a great open field hit. The final from Lakeshore, 35-14 Centennial. This is Wayne Woodhouse reporting.
Just getting a chance to sit down.
And by approaching this.
Second half action just underway here as Westlane and the Irish are battling in the opening week of Division I football play here on the McLean Hunter High School Game of the Week. Jim Gould and Jeff Girodat along with the call of the game. Shane Neal working the sidelines for us this afternoon. The Spartans lead this game to begin the second half 4-1. We'll go over some first half statistics. Westlane not picking up a first down in the first half. Notre Dame picking up 2. Westlane gaining 27 yards, 20 through the ground, 7 through the air. The Irish picking up 26 yards of offense, all on the ground. 1 turnover in the first half. That by the Irish. As the Spartans get set to begin the second half here on offense, Ed Dawson will lead the charge. 12 yards short of the midfield stripe, 1st and 10 for Westlane. Spencer around the right side looks to pick up about 6 yards on the carry. Long run for a short distance for Mark Spencer.
Good job by Spencer, though. As soon as he gets to the outside, he knows he's going to get a few more yards than he usually would if he goes right up the middle. One thing over the course of the halftime, although the rain stopped, the wind sure has picked up a bit here, and it's coming from our right to left, so it's going to be interesting to see what team gets the wind at their back.
Westlane has it now here for the third quarter. The Irish will have it for the fourth. We saw Dawson put the ball up a few times in the first half. Possibility he could do it again. Dawson managed to get the handoff away, but was hit hard and quickly by the Irish defense, as was the ball carrier. Bring up a third down for Westlane, close to a first down. Call it 3rd and 3.
Good job by number 42 there, Red Shepherd, to make the tackle. Haven't heard too much of the not big name players so far for Westlane and Notre Dame. It's usually the big name players that have been making all the big plays so far.
Big third down for the Spartans. They give it to Peoples. He gets up near the midfield stripe. That'll be good enough for a first down. Dawson runs over, gets a play from his coach. First and 10 from midfield for Westlane. Dawson lost the handle on the ball from the snap. Good job by Dawson just to turn around and fall on it. Spartans will lose 2 or 3 yards on the play, bring up second down.
It's one of the things Coach Lalsich was actually telling his players yesterday. about the onside kicks. Don't worry about getting the ball and picking up and run with it. Just drop your body on it and make sure that they still have possession.
Tight formation for Westlane. Dawson drops back. He's going to put it up. As Bob Ward right side. Nice catch and run by Bob Ward. Picks up 17 yards and the first down for Westlane.
Big first down for Westlane as they march towards the Notre Dame, into Notre Dame territory and towards the goal, trying to get another score here in the third quarter.
Then they got a cream 42, and I'll be really happy.
First down, Dawson's going to put it up. Bob Ward along the right side. Dawson overthrew him by about 5 yards. Some contact there between the receiver and the DB, waved off by the official. The ball well out of the reach of Ward.
Jim, one thing I've noticed from the start of the game, at the start of the game, Notre Dame was the team that was all pumped up. It was their first home game of the season, but it looks like that spark is gone, and now Westlane has a bit of the momentum.
Second down, Spartans. They're going to look to Ward again along the right side. This time Dawson had a line on him, but just threw it about a foot too high. So now after two quick incompletions, third down and 10 upcoming for Westlane.
Once again, we see number big 66, Ryan Ward, in there along the right side, providing some good pass protection for Dawson.
Third and 10, Dawson drops back, finds Ward right side. Misfired on the pass, but a flag down on the play. That's in the backfield.
Going along the right side once again to number 70, Bob Ward. If you go to the well too many times, you might get in trouble. That one almost picked off as a Notre Dame defender gets a hand on it.
On third down, the penalty goes against Westlane, so that brings up a fourth down as the Irish decline. You see Jamie Beckus right back into the game as he resumes his punting duties for the Spartans. Beckus booms one into the corner. That's going to go out of bounds along the sideline. We'll check the spot from the official. Gets marked inside the 10, so the Irish offense will be backed up inside their own 10-yard line. They'll operate first down from about their own 8.
Great kick by Beckus there, angling it towards the sideline, so there's no chance of return for the Notre Dame players that's back to receive the punt.
So the Irish go on offense for the first time in this second half. They trail this game 4-1. The Westlane Spartans lead Notre Dame. And here in the third quarter, the Irish offense operating with the wind in their face. Anthony Santostefano carrying the ball the majority of the time in the first half. We expect much of the same here in the second. Ravizzola to Santostefano. He tries to break it over the right side of the line. Not much room there as the Westlane defense stacks it up.
One of the things Notre Dame has to be concerned on this possession is not necessarily getting a score, but at least getting it out of their own zone to at least get to sort of half field so Westlane doesn't end up with good field position once again.
Go.
Second down, carry again to give to Seta Stefano. He rumbles ahead for a few more yards. Third down and 5 for the Irish.
A very big third down at that.
They give it to Lucetta on the reverse. He fumbles the ball, and there's Jamie Beckus to pick up the loose ball, pick it up off the ground, and rumble into the end zone. The first major of the game is scored on a turnover. Jamie Beckus gives his team 6 points.
So far, we've seen Jamie Beckus all over the field today. His offense, defense, he's doing the punting, he's doing the kicking, and now he gets the first major for Westlane this season and puts his team up.
Spartans now lead it 10-1 pending the extra point, and of course Jamie Beckus will take care of that himself as well. Beckus hammers the extra point through, and here in the early goings of the third quarter, the Spartans capitalize. Jamie Beckus' punt pins the Irish down deep. A third down and 5 forces the Irish to try something a little bit fancy. Ryan Nava lost the handle on the ball, or check that, Loris Lucetta lost the handle on the ball. Beckus picks up the loose ball, and now the Spartans lead Notre Dame 11-1.
That extra point sure wasn't pretty, Jim, but it definitely worked. Jamie Beckus, Mr. Everything here today for the Westlane Spartans.
Jamie Beckus getting set to kick things off for the Westlane Spartans. Right now, we're going to throw it down to Shane Neal, who's down on the sidelines.
Well, thank you very much, and I'll tell you, it seems like the game, or the temperature is about 10 degrees warmer now than it was at the beginning of the game. I was just over at the Notre Dame sideline talking to some of the players, and Coach Rick Oreskovich was saying just to keep pounding the pavement. They played a good first half of football, and that they just had to keep working hard and executing the plays, and the points will come. Unfortunately, we just saw the turnover there. Westlane leading 11-1, now back upstairs to Jim and Jeff.
Thanks a lot, Shane. Beckus' kick sails down to the 15-yard line where it's fielded by Lucetta. He's got some blockers in front of him and some Spartans chasing him. Lucetta with a chance to break it open, but gets some good field position for the Irish. He'll bring it back out to about the 35-40-yard line.
A good run by Lucetta, but there is a flag on the play, so we'll have to see who it's going against.
Take a look again at that run back by Loris Lucetta. Goes all for naught as the flag is against Notre Dame. So again, the Irish pin deep. That moves them back to about their 15-20-yard line. So now the Irish offense with a 10-point deficit to make up. They've got to try and start moving the chains quickly.
They've definitely got to get a score here in the third period. The way Westlane's holding on to the ball, just running the ball up the middle, is taking a lot of time off the clock, and Notre Dame hasn't got that time to spare.
Rob Cardinelli gains very little on that carry. Maybe a yard. Bring up second down for the Irish. Ravizolo puts one up left side. That's caught by Lucetta. Late hit on the Spartans, I believe, is going to be called there. A flag went up as one of the Spartans hit Lucetta as he was down on the ground.
That's definitely going to cost him. Number 32, Mark Spencer, the defensive back, going in there, hitting the player after he was already down, and very unnecessary. That's something Westlane can't afford to do right now at this juncture of the game.
A 15-yard penalty assessed to Westlane. That puts the Irish into a first down situation, nearing midfield. Ravizolo's going to put it up. Right side, there's Ryan Nava. Picks up 6 on that catch, so a 2nd down and 4 upcoming for Notre Dame.
As we've seen so many times today, number 31, Jason Peoples, there to make the open field tackle.
Santostefano with the carry. He's knocked down in the backfield. That for a loss of about a yard or 2. Now the Irish will be faced with 3rd and 6 after the 2-yard loss on the carry.
Obviously somebody missed a tackle there. Number 24, Dan Peoples, able to go right in the backfield and take care of the Irish runner. It's a very crucial 3rd down.
Ravizolo's going to put it up. Ryan Nava on the left side. He makes the catch and a nice move. Spins away from a would-be tackler, picks up a few more yards, and those yards will be crucial as that got them the first down.
Number 21 for Westlane, Steve Musselwhite, went to make the tackle. Looked like he might have slipped on the damp field, and that gave the Irish the first down. That's going to move the chains.
First down and 10 for Notre Dame. Ryan Ravizolo leading the charge. Settles under center, takes the snap. Anthony Santostefano will carry. He gets into the linebacking core of the Spartans. Thought he had a hole. He was met there very quickly by number 31, Jason Peoples, and stopped after a 2-yard gain.
Slowly but surely, Notre Dame making their way down the field, something they have to do here in the 3rd quarter. They really need to score badly in order to get back into this game, trailing 11-1.
And by running the clock down here in the 3rd quarter, what they're doing is taking time with the wind away from Westlane and getting them closer to the 4th quarter when they'll have the wind at their backs. Santostefano carries ahead on 2nd down. Looks to rumble ahead for about 7 or 8 yards. That could be close to another Irish first down. Now they are in Westlane territory.
The Notre Dame line doing a good job here. They're much bigger and stronger, it looks like, than the Westlane line. They're doing a good job getting their blocks out of the way. And the Notre Dame running backs are following their blocks, getting some good yardage.
It is a first down carry for the Irish. So 1st and 10 now operating on the Westlane side of the field. Ravizolo puts one up on the right side. That's a great grab hauled in by Mike Kondurka. 5-yard gain on the play, 2nd and 5 for the Irish.
Notre Dame going against the wind here. It's kind of surprising that they're going to the air on this drive as much as they actually are.
Timekeeper's flag along the sidelines is up in the air, so we're in the very late goings here of the 3rd quarter. The Irish may be able to just run this time down and then work very close to the Westlane goal line with the wind at their backs when they switch to the 4th quarter. That pass by Ravizolo's hung out on the left side, almost picked off by Steve Musselwhite as he managed to put a hand on it.
Jim, one thing for sure, Notre Dame is trailing 11-1, a 10-point difference. Sooner or later, they're going to need a field goal at least to tie the game. So even if they do change ends and they don't get a touchdown, a field goal will suffice.
That pass appeared to sail right through the hands of Musselwhite. Second down incompletion. Third down and 5 for Notre Dame. Ravizolo over the middle. He's got Loris Lucetta for a big gain. First down and then some for the Irish. And that is the end of the third quarter.
Who's that?
A first down grab by Loris Lucetta ends the third quarter as Notre Dame has an injured player down on the field.
A good pattern there by Lucetta, but it looks like he pays the price as he gets up now and walks off. It looks like it was he's limping a bit right there, so it's probably when he got tackled and went down.
So through 3 quarters of play, Westlane Spartans lead Notre Dame 11-1. But the Irish marching here to begin the fourth quarter. They're very close to the Spartan end zone.
Jim, now we're heading in the fourth quarter. Westlane's up 11-1. Notre Dame's moving the ball quite well on this drive. Maybe it shows that Coach Lawsich's troops are tiring because they don't have that many people to sub in and sub out throughout the rest of the game.
First down and 10 for the Irish to begin the fourth quarter here. And Ryan Ravizzola does what he's done most of the game, hands it off to Anthony Santos-Stefano. He rumbles ahead for a couple towards the right side. Picks up about 3 yards on the carry, brings up 2nd and 7 for Notre Dame.
It's important now that the Irish use the clock wisely. We're down into the fourth quarter. Every second counts here. They can't spend too much time in the huddle, and they have to hurry up to get to the line because they do need 2 scores to even tie this game.
Ravizzolo's going to put it up. Ryan Nava on the right side just overthrew him on the cut. Led Nava just a little too much. That falls incomplete. Third down upcoming for Notre Dame.
Good man-to-man coverage there. Good man-to-man coverage there by number 80, Kevin Ritchie.
Big third down for Notre Dame. Third down and 6. Ravizzolo's going to put it up. Mike Konderka wide open on the right side, pulls down the pass and has enough yards for the first down. So Ravizzolo finds Konderka. They complete what was a big third down. Now they've got another set of downs to work with.
That was a huge third down. It might have been interesting to see if they didn't get that. They probably would have had to go for it on fourth down because you don't know how many more times they're going to get the ball back here in the fourth quarter.
Hear the Irish defense in the background cheering on their offense. Santos-Stefano has hit at the line of scrimmage and seemed as though he slipped on maybe a wet piece of turf. Went down just after he hit the line, gained maybe a yard. 2nd and 9 upcoming for Notre Dame. Ravizzola this time went looking for Ryan Nava on the left side. Steve Musselwhite, a little aggressive in his coverage. He's going to get flagged for interference.
That's going to cost them. Notre Dame keeps moving the ball down towards the Westlane goal line, trying to punch it in for a major here in the fourth quarter.
With the penalty, the Irish move to 1st and goal. 4 cracks from inside the 10 to put it into the end zone. Irish trail this game, Westlane leading 11-1. The only major scored by Jamie Beckus, who picked up a fumble just inside the Irish 10-yard line and returned it into the end zone to pick up the touchdown, kicked the extra point himself. At the time that touchdown was scored, it was already 4-1 Westlane, each team scoring a single point. Beckus earlier in the game completing on a field goal. That's where we stand now, 11-1, but the Irish threatening. 1st and goal. Gives to Santo Stefano right side, looking to try and find a hole. Great containment by the Spartan defense to keep his gain minimal.
Once again, another good job there by number 31, Jason Peoples, to make the tackle. Like Beckus, he's been everywhere today on the defensive front.
Second down Notre Dame after the Santo Stefano carry. Lucetta in motion. They fake the give to Santo Stefano. Ryan Ravizzola is going to try and run it himself around the corner. He'll gain a few yards. Ravizzola carries to the 1. 3rd down and goal to go from the 1-yard line for the Irish.
Good job by Ravizzola to keep that ball himself on the bootleg towards the right side, trying to rumble into the major for himself.
Santo Stefano did a good job selling it as well. This time Ravizzola keeps and crosses the goal line. The Irish pick up their first touchdown of the season. They now trail this game 11-7, pending the extra point.
A great drive by Notre Dame there. They went the length of the field. They didn't waste that much time off the clock and can still get the ball back as long as their defense holds Westlane offense to minimal yards and not that many first downs.
So Ravizzola scores the touchdown on the keeper to give the Irish 6 points. Looking to add the extra point here. Place kicker Ryan Nava into the game.
Giroux's out there on the line. No, it's for that.
Nava puts it up and through, so now the game is close. 11-8. The Spartans lead the Irish. Notre Dame has come within 3.
As much as that extra point seems automatic, they really needed that because now they just need a field goal for the tie. If for some reason that wouldn't have gone through, they would have needed another 2 possessions, and that would have been crucial for the Fighting Irish.
You mentioned here early in the 3rd quarter where it seemed as though the momentum had shifted. It seems as though now it may have shifted back in Notre Dame's favor. The Spartan offense has been held off the field for a while. They now are forced to operate here in the 4th quarter into the wind.
As I stated earlier, the question has to be asked. Coach Law's troops, they have to be getting tired now. They've played a tough game. They've been out there for a lot, especially guys like Danny Peoples, Jamie Beckus. So we'll have to see what they can do here in the 4th quarter, even if they can just take some time off the clock.
The Irish are getting set to kick it off, but before they do, we're going to throw it downstairs to Shane Neal, who's waiting on the sidelines.
Well, thank you very much, and I was just over at the Notre Dame sideline just before that touchdown happened, and it was rather interesting, let me tell you. Quarterback Ryan Ravizzola came over to the coach and said, "Coach, I'm taking the ball. I'm going to run it in." The coach said, "Fine, if you can." He got to about the 2-yard line. He ran back to the coach and said, "Coach, I'm going to take it again." And he did, and he scored the touchdown, and Notre Dame deciding to go for the convert instead of the 2 points. As Jeff said, a smart move because now a field goal will tie the game, and if they would have missed the 2-point convert, then they would have been down and they would have had to come back and score a field goal or 2 field goals to win the game. Now back upstairs.
Thanks a lot, Shane. Check that, Ryan Navas kickoff sailing out of bounds along the sideline. So the Spartan offense will come out with decent field position to start their drive here in the fourth quarter. Their idea now, hang on to the ball and control the clock.
Especially with the wind picking up and still probably a bit wet down on the field. They want to carry the ball with two hands at all time, and you can bet Notre Dame's going to be trying to stripping the ball away from them here in the fourth quarter, trying to get that ball back to try and tie this game up at 11 or even go ahead with a touchdown.
You mentioned we were talking the fatigue factor earlier with the Westlane Spartans. As we see now, the Irish are Westlane going to force Notre Dame to kick it off again from 5 yards deeper. Mentioned the fatigue factor. 25 players listed on the Westlane Spartan roster. 12 of them go two ways. Only 13 players play one side of the ball or the other. How much fatigue is out there on the field right now?
I think there's a lot of fatigue. I talked to Coach Lawsich before the game. He said his team is one of the best physically conditioned teams, though. They run 50-yard sprints after practice, and he says there's a lot of kinks to be worked out right now, but by the end of the season, they're really going to be effective, and this fourth quarter probably won't mean that much to them in terms of endurance.
The second kick proved very valuable for the Westlane Spartans. Dan Peoples with a great run up the middle. Just a few tacklers short of breaking it wide open, but he gets it near midfield. So good field position with the Spartans to start this fourth quarter drive and try and kill some of the clock. They lead it by 4, 11-8. Check that. They lead by 3. A field goal will tie it for Notre Dame, but they need the ball back. Westlane will be trying to control the ball here. Ed Dawson, the third-year senior quarterback, set to put his offense in motion. That's Spencer carrying over the right side. He rumbles ahead for about 2 yards. 2nd and 8.
You can almost bet that Coach Lawsich just put his passing book away for the rest of the day, not wanting to put anything up in the air with the wind getting heavier and heavier and putting the ball in the hands of a Notre Dame defender instead of a Westlane receiver.
Dawson going to drop back and pass. Peoples on the right side picked up about 2 more yards on that carry, but it puts the Spartans in the situation of a 3rd and 6 right near the midfield stripe.
This third down very crucial for the Spartans. If they get the first down, they get to move the chains and at least take a couple more minutes off the clock.
Referee spot makes it a 3rd and 7. Dawson's going to put one up. There for the catch. Number 12, Greg Fisher. Another one of those two-way players for the Westlane Spartans, a wide receiver and a defensive back. He makes the first down grab. They pick up a gain of about 13 yards. As you mentioned, move the chains, first down, kill a little more clock.
Huge first down for Westlane, but obviously Coach Lawsich and I aren't on the same wavelength here today. Just after I finished saying I'd be very surprised if they put the ball in the air. Dawson drops back in the pocket and fires it twice in a row.
Oh, look for Spencer and Peoples to get a good bit of the load here now, the two running backs. George Lawsich is making us all look funny because now he puts the ball in the air again. Dan Peoples on the reception. A flag down on the play. Maybe George can hear us and figures Notre Dame can too, so if we think they're going to run, he's going to put it in the air.
Actually, I talked to Coach Lawsich yesterday, and he said one of the things that he tries to do at a football game is always outthink the other coach, so no, you don't always go with the exact same play that the textbook would always ask for.
Hey.
Hi. Yeah, I'm tired, don't worry.
Weirdo you are.
The flag on the play goes against the Spartans. 5-yard loss. It remains first down. 1st and 15.
Whoa! That's upside down. What's this thing?
Dawson faked as though he was going to put it in the air and then keeps it on the ground. Mark Spencer with a carry. Back up close to the original line of scrimmage.
This thing's nifty. It's in my pocket, bring it home. I want to do. Hey Joe, you see this?
I know.
Jim, one thing that might work to Westlane's factor is Jamie Beckus, after a shaky start, has had a few good punts here. If he can get it into the end zone and get some good coverage down there, they may be able to get the single point and therefore force Notre Dame to get a touchdown.
No, actually no, he's pretty upset now.
Dawson drops back on second down, has a receiver along the left side.
So he goes Huntley?
Overthrew his own receiver. Loris Lucetta was there covering for the Irish, had it in his hands but couldn't hang on. So now the 3rd and 14 becomes a very long 14 yards for the Spartans. They need them all on one play to move the chains again.
I should probably go to work.
Dawson puts it up looking for Ward. Tipped up and may have been intercepted. Steve Volovich comes down with the ball. The pass was intended for the tight end, Bob Ward. It's tipped up into the air, and Volovich comes down with a huge interception for Notre Dame.
Well, there it is. It looked like Dawson and Coach Lasich went to the well one too many times. They had some success with it earlier in the drive. But Volovich gets the interception, and now Notre Dame's got the ball and is going to try and march the rest of the field for at least a field goal or hopefully a major.
11-8 is our score. The Westlane Spartans lead Notre Dame a field goal to tie. Anything more than that would give them the lead. Midway through the 4th quarter, entering the late stages of the game here at Notre Dame. Santos Stefano is going to carry on first down and is going to be dropped for a huge loss. Appears as though number 41, Joe Gill, was in there on the tackle. Santos Stefano looked to try and break it up at the line. There was no holes there, so he tried to take it out wide and ended up losing 5 yards on the carry.
Jim, right at the start of the game, we saw Coach Lasich try one of his trick plays, an onside kick. You've got to wonder if someone on the Notre Dame coaching staff has something in their back pocket, a trick play, so they can get a lot of yards and march down the field with not that much time.
Ravizolo's going to put it up. He's got a receiver in Luchetta. He's got the completed pass. So they'll gain back a big chunk of that yardage that was lost. Gain of about 7 on the pass. Leaves them at 3rd and 8. Ravizola with the give to Cargnelli. Someone we haven't seen carry the ball very much early in or during most of this game. Anthony Santos Stefano has carried the load as far as the Irish running game has been concerned. The quick handoff to Cargnelli, he takes it far enough for a first down as the Irish approach the midfield stripe. 1st and 10.
I'm telling on you, Joe.
Ravizola's going to put it up. He's got Ryan Nava along the left side. 2 or 3 yard gain on the pass. 2nd down and 8 coming.
Good job by Nava there against 2 defenders to
Can you
hold
guys hear
on
me
to
up
the
there?
ball.
What?
going to be gut check time now for the Westlane defense. How bad they want this game. They have to suck it all up because they don't have that many people on the bench, as we talked about before.
Oh, they got to turn it on from in there. They got to control.
Second and 8, Ravizolo's going to put it up. Pass intended for Mike Kondurka. Irish bench looking for some interference, some close coverage there provided by Jason Peoples. Critical third down here for both teams.
Hold all the grass up. There's. Oh, that's not fun.
They give to Cardinelli again. He's met right at the line. Big 4th down and 8 play coming, and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish call time.
Jim, with this timeout, not only does it give Notre Dame to get together on the sidelines and give each other a better play selection, but it also gives the Westlane defense time to rest, something they really need here late in the 4th quarter.
Fourth down, the Irish are going. Chance they may punt here. Ryan Ravizzola, no, he's going to drop back and throw it, and he's not going to have any room to do anything. The Spartan defense is equal to the task. Ken Lehman, one of the first players in there to drop Ravizzola for a loss. They gamble on 4th and 8 and turn the ball over. The Spartan offense now with good field position, and they've got time to work with the clock.
All they have to do now is keep the ball on the ground, make sure they keep 2 hands on the ball. Don't let the Notre Dame players try and strip it away, which I imagine they'll be doing, and this game will be theirs.
11-8, the Spartans lead Notre Dame. Jamie Beck is pretty much a one-man wrecking crew as far as the Spartans are concerned this afternoon. He scored the point on the missed field goal, scored a field goal, scored the touchdown himself, and then kicked his own extra point. There's Mark Spencer bulldozing ahead for 5 or 6 yards as the Spartans just push it right up the middle.
Great job by Spencer there. He gets so much speed just from getting the ball from Dawson, and he's so quick he can make cuts up on the line, and he gets a good distance on that run, about 5 yards. Now it's 2nd down and 5.
The Spartans not hiding anything. Everybody uptight on the line of scrimmage. Here's a give to Spencer. He's into the defensive backfield. Rumbles forward. Looks as though he's got enough for a 1st down. And he does as the official signal to move the chains, so another 1st down for the Westlane Spartans. They continue to just run the ball up and down the field and run down the clock.
Ball.
First down and 10. They give the ball to Spencer, and he's met quickly. Rich Reddy in there with the initial contact. Just as Spencer hit the line of scrimmage, Reddy was there to put a helmet on him.
A couple players down right now too. Looks like a couple of them may be hurt. Oh, but now they're getting up okay. So that was number 65 and number 70. Ben Nagy, number 70, number 65, Dino Tamano.
Russell!
Second and 9.
Jeremy, shit, buddy!
They give it to Spencer. He carries around the right side, brings some blockers with him. The ball came loose. The Irish think they've got it recovered. The officials, right on the spot, say that Spencer was down before the ball popped loose.
Fortunate break for Westlane that they still have the ball. A great job by Spencer once again. Even though he feels like he's going to be tackled, he makes like Emmett Smith or Barry Sander and keeps his feet plugging for another couple yards.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you ready to go in? Hang on.
An official timeout called on the field.
Doesn't matter. Just put your stick right behind him.
As they're going to check the mark.
Put it right behind it. Same spot, all right? All right, let's go, guys. Right? Jim, David, I need a ride home.
Inches short of the first down on Spencer's carry. Brings up a third and inches for the Spartans.
Tight, guys.
Just with the size of that offensive line, they have you figure Spencer or Peoples is just going to line up behind Ward and Beckus, try and follow him through to pick up those 6 inches.
One thing we also have to consider is the more Westlane gets down in Notre Dame territory, the easier it is for Beckus to get a single point or a field goal, and that will force Notre Dame that they need a touchdown, and a field goal just won't do for them.
Any points by the Spartans will force Notre Dame into a 2-possession game. And a penalty call against the Spartans.
They're just killing time.
No yards lost, but a loss of down. So now the Spartans in a big 4th down situation. They've got the ball deep in Irish territory. They need about 6 inches to a foot for a first down.
No, let's talk about canceling because of the rain.
They only lead this game by 3 at 11-8. Dawson just takes the snap and kneels on it. And that is the football game as Dawson wraps it up by kneeling down. There had not been much time left on the clock. The Irish obviously didn't have the time for a 2-possession game. They didn't have time for a 1-possession game, but played very hard, losing this afternoon 11-8.
Very impressed by the way Westlane played today. Coach Lalsich got the most out of his players, especially Jamie Beckus, who is Mr. Everything today for Westlane. As you stated earlier, kicked field goals. He got a touchdown for them on the defensive end. He got single points for them. He played great defensive. He got a lot of tackles along with Jason Peoples. Westlane really played well today, and they got the most out of their players, even though they don't have that many.
Very small roster. We mentioned it earlier. 12 players in this lineup go both ways. Only 13 of them play on one side of the ball. Had to be gut check time for a lot of them, and they performed well this afternoon, controlling the ball here late in the 4th quarter to keep Notre Dame away from the end zone.
This was really a game too of everything changing here and there. You know, we had a couple turnovers that were proved costly. Jamie Beckus put the ball in the end zone on the fumble recovery. This is also a game of emotion too. As I said earlier, Westlane came out very flat. You know, the onside kick didn't really work for them, but then they got things going and then they got the momentum, but then Notre Dame got it back. But Westlane was able to hang on for the game.
Well, Westlane's defense, we mentioned Jamie Beckus. Westlane's defense won the game for them this afternoon with that turnover deep in the Irish territory. Beckus just picks it up, rumbles into the end zone. That's the only touchdown the Spartans scored. The Irish, the only team to score an offensive touchdown here this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Lalsich has to be proud of his defensive team. I think there's a couple things he has to work out with the offensive unit. Ed Dawson did a pretty good job. He threw the ball not too bad today considering the weather conditions, but he got a lot of yardage from Mark Spencer, did a great job running the ball.
So the Westlane Spartans move to 1-0 in Elite Division football play here at Notre Dame. They knock off the Irish 11-8.
Every month, we speak to over 35,000 children across Canada. Lonely kids who need someone to talk to, but feel there's nowhere to turn. No one who'll really take the time to listen. Invest the time. Talk to your children. But even more important, let them know you're listening, that you respect what they have to say. Communicating is one of the most important things that we as parents can do for our children, and it can make an enormous difference in their lives.
Welcome back to the McLean Hunter High School Game of the Week as we set to wrap things up on our season premiere here. The Westlane Spartans with an 11-8 win over the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. Our McLean Hunter High School Game of the Week player of the game. No real tough decision here. Jamie Beckus of the Westlane Spartans.
He did everything for him today. Everybody knew he was a good football player. Today he went out and improved it. After the game, we talked to Coach Lalsich whether he was happy with today's game. What did he say? No, it was sloppy football, but it's a win. That's one underneath the belt for Westlane and something they look to improve on for the rest of the season.
The Westlane Spartans moved to 1-0. The Fighting Irish can take a lot of good things out of this loss. They moved to 0-1, but they did learn a few things.
Definitely, they had a really good game defensively. I was talking to Coach Rick Orskovich, and he said that their defense played awesome. They have a couple of new coaches on defense. They played great. Their offense was good, but they just couldn't get anything together. They just couldn't gel together, and he said, you know, another week's practice and that, they get things together. They're going to have a football team, or a good football team, he guaranteed, and hopefully the Irish can pull things together the next game.
So the Westlane Spartans win this game 11-8. The next McLean Hunter High School Game of the Week comes next Friday, September 30th. We'll be at Centennial, where the Stamford Hornets, who won their first home game in over 4 years the other day, knocking off, I believe it was St. Michael's or St. Paul's, knocked them off. Their first home win in 4 years. They'll take on the Centennial Cougars, who had a big win yesterday over the Lakeshore Gators in what many people figure is a surprise. O.J. Burnett back with the Cougars. He was supposed to be at university this year.
ball last week.
Huh? No, I didn't see that. Oh, the pass. The guys standing out there all alone. The two guys back. Nobody moved over. Okay, you got them.
Take that ball away!
back to play or what?
Are you playing Muni League? All right, I'll call you. I just want to make sure we have enough guys.
Yeah.
You're sleeping up there, Nate.
Go!
Somebody's blowing. You got to be back there in the zone.
I want to go out and yell at the guys.
So I hope you're part of that Brock rugby team that's doing something.
Yeah? Seems all right. I bet.
Second half. You're not my way.
the other battery out of the bag. Okay, no, just hold it because the battery can go pretty soon.
side? Watch your side, man! Read it sooner, better read that sooner! Good job,
his eyes. I'm going to move you the tractor for you.